in a nutshell, what did the metaverse do to further industry, to further humanity, to further the world? I debate this, and I don't see what the metaverse has actually done. And we can have a debate about this right now.
Okay, so for that, I think we kind of need to establish definitions first, right? So when you say the metaverse, what do you define the metaverse as? Because to me, I think any virtual space that you can interact with, and you can, like, let's say, for example, a place like World of Warcraft or a place like RuneScape, I think that's almost a metaverse experience, right? Even though, okay, you're not wearing it on a VR goggle, but you are going into a whole online world, like any MMORPG, right?
So that's gaming.
But I still think that's a metaverse experience, because you have economy, you have trade, you have interaction with other people and other players. You have potentially your own space that you can personalize. You have your own character that you can personalize. There's a whole element of commerce there, right? So I think just for the sake of this discussion, right, what do you want to define the metaverse as? Where do you set the limits of what the metaverse is? Or what do you need? What does a virtual space need for it to qualify as a metaverse rather than just a VR experience?
We can go and talk about semantics all day long.
Right.
But the NFT space, right, which was, in my view, people trading gifts of monkeys, right? Stupid. Even in gaming, right? What has it brought? Because, if you look like a game, if you have kids, or if you've heard of a game called Minecraft or Roblox, these are technically metaverses, aren't they?
Yeah.
Right? But they don't need any of the funding or the hype. It's a pretty basic graphic system that has existed for 30 years.
Yep.
That is now cool.
Yep.
And this is my issue. Why did all this money, why was all this hype getting into the metaverse and into NFTs when it actually meant nothing?
I'll tell you what I'll tell you what at the time the promise that I saw in it and what it meant to me.
Right.
Or why, let's say, I would have gotten excited about it as a gamer, right? Because for example, RuneScape specifically was a game that I grew up playing. And if you ask me what did that bring to me as a human being, or what did that bring to humanity, I'd tell you that I started playing RuneScape when I first learned English. So it really helped accelerate my English learning. So I learned quite a lot of words that I would have never known at the time. Probably a lot of medieval stuff that didn't matter at the time anymore, but still it was like a historical context, right? The other thing that it taught me was kind of a little bit about commerce and trade, a little bit about, let's say, as stupid as it may sound, saving money and like economics and stuff like that, because, I'd have to go and sit there and spend time, and I'd get a certain amount of gold depending on what activity I was doing. And the last thing I think, and then the last thing was kind of building relationships with people online. That was like my first ever virtual experience of building relationships online.
So you guys are coming from two different points of view.
Yeah.
You're talking about the money that went into the system, and where was there a long-term investment for the ROI of the system. You're coming up from a user experience, right? And it made a change in your life, even if short-term.
Not
right?
the metaverse, gaming.
Like,
let's say those pre-metaverse
but even worlds. In a gaming, like you say, GTA 5, or they're all forms of metaverse, it may not be what you think is world-changing, but for those people experiencing every day, building, those connections with people around the world, it's very life-changing. But you're seeing it from a tech business standpoint.
Yeah.
Right? And you're seeing it from, this is how it helped me.
Yeah.
So you guys are seeing it from two different sides.
I mean, I'm getting to what I think the promise of the metaverse was, even on a business perspective, right? It was the fact that there's huge economies within these games. There's huge black markets around these games of like exchanging accounts for money or selling gold for money. That's technically...
So money laundering.
Again, I don't know if you want to go that far. If like 12-year-olds are laundering money through RuneScape Gold, like I wouldn't go that far as to suspect that, right? But let's say there's huge economies as well around games like Counter-Strike, right? Skins, weapon skins and stuff like that. People are staking weapon skins. So it's a relatively significant addressable market. And I think what the hope was is that the metaverse and bringing blockchain into that whole interaction is, first of all, assets would be transferable between games, right? So you don't only own assets in one game. And what that means to me as a gamer is the fact that if I'm investing hundreds of hours into this one game, I now have an asset that I can take with me to the next game, rather than once I'm bored of this game, everything that's there is gone.
Got it. So look, I'm a guy in my 40s.
Okay.
I have 2 teenager kids. They play religiously Minecraft and Roblox.
Yeah.
Right? And I'm sure a lot of parents get asked by the kids, hey, can you buy me some Robux?
Yeah.
Yep.
Right? Now, this is the thing that tells me that the whole metaverse Web3 space was a failure. Was, how do you buy Robux?
With your credit card.
Exactly. Right?
Okay.
There's no Web3 element. There's no way of there's no token element. So all these games that came out and all this whole industry that attracted billions of dollars of investment and funding to promise us what you say, a whole economy
an
an ecosystem within the virtual world, has been an absolute failure.
I think people were rushing it. Because I think to get to that point that we're talking about, right? So let's say, for example, for me, it's a little bit more easy to do. Because I have invested hundreds and thousands of hours into games, right? And I have lost, well, let's say, I some of these games that I never picked up and played again, technically speaking, completely lost investment of time, right? If I still play the game, okay, you know what? I might have some old weapon skins, some old character skins. Maybe my account might be worth some money that I could sell to someone, but I still play the game, so it doesn't matter to me, right? But I guess to get to that point, we needed a lot more interoperability than I guess the ecosystem was ready for.
Interoperability, it's a word used by product managers in Web3 companies and founders that talks about actually the basis of why we have crypto.
Yeah.
Interoperability, right? And I think the fundamental issue is that founders in Web3 companies, they put the cart before the horse. Meaning, they try to solve a problem that doesn't exist. They give you the solution before the problem. So here's a solution. Let's create a problem that fits into this solution because I kind of know a bit of coding and I found and I had a really weird idea in a dream.
You know, someone once told me that blockchain is the solution that is looking for a problem, and that really resonated with me.
And I think this is the problem in blockchain. And I think this is the problem in Web3 and the metaverse, is that we all love the industry for different reasons, right? And you've explained, your journey through it, which is pretty cool. You have your own journey as well.
Yeah.
I have my own journey.
Of course.
But I feel that a lot of the issues that we have today, a lot of the stained reputation for crypto, the reason we have crypto bros who are just basically coming to Dubai and scamming people, right?
Yeah.
Let's be real here.
Yeah.
They exist because they're buying hype. It's hype. It's a solution that doesn't have a problem behind it. And I think if it was the other way around, if we were designing, this is why Apple was so successful. Apple was successful because Steve Jobs would come out and put the tech almost secondary to the solution that he was buying. So he would go in and say, hey guys, people want an Apple Macintosh to do X, Y, Z. When he was challenged on, hey, are you using the latest coding language, or the latest tech? He'd say, no, we're trying to solve a solution. We'll get a solution. We'll find the problem. We'll find how to solve it later. And this is the fundamental problem with Web3 founders, I think, and the metaverse. And this is why the metaverse, in my view, is an absolute failure. But that's my view, and I'm very opinionated.
I think, honestly, I think we're going to come to a point of where the metaverse, where we won't say that anymore. Where we say, okay, you know what, hey, this fad actually kind of picked up. It might be called something else. It might not still be called the metaverse. It might just be called AR and VR, right? but it will have an economy attached to it. But where we stand right now, I think you are accurate to say that it was a fad.